Welcome to another posture exercises video brought to you by posture-exercises.blogspot.com. Today we're going to look at how to stretch the lower back muscles. The lower back muscles refer to a group of muscles located in the lower back. These muscles include some bigger muscles as well as some smaller muscles. Some of the bigger muscles include your lats, also known as the latissimus dorsi, and then some of the smaller muscles, which only go from either small segments of your spine to larger segments of your spine. Some of those muscles have names such as multifidus, erector spinale, longissimus, and iliocostalis. Now, if these muscles are tight, they can affect the tilt of the pelvis as well as the curve of the lower back. So that's why for some people stretching those muscles are important so that we can affect those two things. But let me make it very clear that these stretches aren't for everyone, because you're basically putting the lower back in, stretching it into some what we call flexion. They're just not appropriate for everyone. They're only appropriate if you've got certain posture types, and those certain posture types are if you've got an increased lumbar lordosis. That means when you've got an increased backwards curve of your lower back, or if you have an anterior tilt of the pelvis. That is when, if you had your hands on the tops of your pelvis and you were tilting your pelvis forward, which also does give you an increased curve in the lower back. So those two go together. So just to illustrate that a little more clearly, there's two diagrams here. The one on the left has an increased lumbar lordosis. You can see that the pelvis is in neutral, but it has an increased curve of that lower back. The picture on the right, they also have an increased curve of the lower back, but they've also, if you see the top of the pelvis, that it is rotated forward. So for these two people, they would have tight lower back muscles, and therefore these stretches would be appropriate. So let's have a look at a couple of different methods. We start off with method one. As with most of our videos, method one is typically the easiest. It's appropriate if they're very tight in these muscles. If you're not very tight in the muscles, you may not get a stretch with this. So you're lying on the floor, keep the back flat on the floor, and you pull one knee to the chest. So let's have a look at that one. Okay, method two, similar to method one, as in you're lying on the floor, keep the back flat on the floor, but this time you pull both knees to the chest, so you're going to get a greater stretch of those lower back muscles. So let's have a look at that one. And finally, method three. This is a very good stretch and more easy to do during the day, unless you're in a place where you can easily get down on the floor. This one can be done standing up and just using a wall. So you stand with the back flat against the wall, your feet are away from the wall, and you slide down the wall, keeping the back flat against the wall. You may have to recruit some of your abdominal muscles to help keep the back flat against the wall. When you are sliding down the wall, make sure that your feet are further away from the wall than the knees, so that you're not giving yourself any knee problems. So let's have a look at that one. And there you go. So there's some lower back stretches. Once again, not appropriate for everyone, but if you do have tight muscles, they're very appropriate. So for more posture tips and exercises, make sure you visit us at posture-exercises.blogspot.com.